What are your predictions for the May elections, please?
A big election, a real debate, and that's the first good thing to say, because in the past European elections have been rather relegated in member states. This doesn't really matter, and there's been no real debate. There is going to be a very big surge in the Eurosceptic numbers in this Parliament. Quite how big it's going to be, whether they're going to make up 20% of the seats, 25% of the seats, or whether they could get to a third and form a serious blocking minority, which would stop the Commission getting their legislation through. I can't predict that, but a huge increase in the number of Eurosceptics for certain.
Do you not foresee that the huge increase in the number of Eurosceptics will also perhaps be interpreted as a large increase in the rise of the far right?
Well, that of course is how the European press are playing this, and we see this particularly in France and particularly in Germany, and those ripples go out that Euroscepticism equates with hardline extreme nationalism, very left-wing economic policy where the state does even more, protectionism against globalization from China and India, and in many cases, denial of the Holocaust and all the rest of it. And this simply isn't right. Actually, what's going to happen in the next Parliament is there'll be a far-right group, there'll be a conservative group opposing further centralisation, there'll be lots of Eurosceptics on the left. There are going to be communists coming back here from the Mediterranean countries, talking about their countries leaving the Eurozone. And I hope and believe there'll be us, very much in the middle, representing the tradition of liberal democracy, not extreme in any way at all. Nationalistic in the sense we believe in the existence of nation state, but no more than that. So I think this attempt to pigeonhole Euroscepticism as being a far-right phenomenon is completely and utterly wrong.
But I would imagine that the attempt is being made by the press because of, to be fair, certain incidents involving certain UKIP members. How do you feel about that? I understand that you're trying to weed out these people. How do you think it's going?
Well, frankly, if we were to go into the Conservative Party or the Labour Party and go into one of their heartlands, let's choose a nice little pub in Sussex or a working man's club in Hartlepool, we would find a range of opinions that would make our eyes water. And it is actually almost becoming demonisation in the British press. And it's very interesting, isn't it? There was a case of a councillor recently who blamed the floods on gay marriage. He'd said all those things as a Tory councillor in 2012 when it wasn't news. Suddenly he defects to UKIP and it is news. Look, I've said from the start that we will not be a home to those that want to promote hatred or unpleasantness. But at the same time, we'll also be a home to people who've got differing political opinions, because that's how human beings are made up. And the last thing I want UKIP to be is some sort of Blairite party where I send them a message every morning onto their pager on their belt telling them what to think and what to say. I am absolutely confident that there are no traces of extremism or unpleasantness within UKIP. A few eccentrics that may say the odd thing. But you know what? The great British public look at this and they can see that this is an attempt by the establishment to do us down, and it probably actually makes people more determined to vote for us anyway.